Welcome to Gruen. It was Mother's Day on Sunday and advertisers wanted to please your mum.
With every little moment, you helped me grow. And you still do. This Mother's Day, say thanks with the Evolve retractable hose reel.
Dad, Mum wants you to put your hose away. But what if I want to treat my mum?
Treat your mum with gift ideas from Super Cheap Auto, like these gold oil slick seat covers and steering wheel cover from $19.99 each.
Oh, that's where I was conceived. Those aren't oil slicks. But what if I want to spoil Mum?
Every mum deserves to be spoilt on Mother's Day, and here's one of the places you can do it. Spoil her with a gift card. It's a beautiful gift idea.
A gift card from Bunnings. At least it explains the slogan, lowest expectations are just the beginning. But the most shocking Mother's Day marketing we found was from Kitchen Warehouse.
If you don't want to face another Mother's Day filled with scented candles and hand creams, I've got a brilliant hack that will get you the gift you actually want.
Oh, what's the brilliant hack?
You know how our phones are basically eavesdropping on us all the time? Well, Kitchen Warehouse is giving mums the tools to manipulate the algorithm.
Manipulate the algorithm. Great idea. People love it when their mums are manipulative. What do I do?
Go to kitchenwarehouse.com.au, scroll down to the manipulate section, pick the products you want, and they'll do the rest.
They'll do the rest. And by the rest, she means Kitchen Warehouse will make ads follow your family. Bit creepy, even creepier, these billboards. Scan this and your family will be chased. Stranger danger. Kitchen Warehouse even made cute animal videos that were actually secret ads to manipulate their kids, which would have worked if kids actually watched videos sent by their mum. At least it couldn't get any more creepy, right?
Woolstead, slushy frozen drink maker, Kitchen Warehouse.
I bet you're wondering what on earth I'm doing.
I am wondering what on earth you're doing. You seem a little mum-stable. This campaign is a mum-trocity. It's mum-noxious and mum-noying. I don't want to sound mum-grateful, but what mum-skull wrote this? It's a sickening case of consume-mummism. I think your office has carbon monoxide leak. Mamma mia, you mother-fathers. Time to welcome our panel, Todd Sampson, Camey O'Keefe, Ferry and Russel Howcroft. Hey. For years, Bankwest filled their ads with cute animated characters saving money. Now Bankwest has stepped into reality and it's the Bankworst.
When you spend only 0.02% of your time doing bank things, you can spend 17.5% of your time with your best friend, 5.6% taking your stress out on strangers, 10% on the arts, 38% dwelling on that terrible thing you said to your coworker at the party, and 20% baking for your colleagues at work, especially Brenda.
What is happening? What terrible thing did you say to your co-worker at the party? Did you tell them you pass your dog? Is that Brenda? Bankwest has 1.2 million customers, and judging by their ads, they're all manipulative creeps. They stare at their co-workers with cold, dead eyes, while a cold, dead voiceover says creepy things like this.
24% on Debbie, who keeps talking over you in the chat group, and 8% on volunteering, because you feel guilty about what you want to do to Debbie.
Oh, Debbie be dead. Karen, why spend 10% of your life making this?
Okay, so when Bankwest went national, which is almost 20 years ago, they launched with this campaign called Happy Banking, which if you were around then, you might remember it was like a talking sunflower, there was a Shetland pony with a Shetland accent, very funny. But what it actually led to was Bankwest becoming Australia's most liked bank. And over time, as they've released more campaigns, that has degraded and Australians have forgotten about them. So everything they've released since then is to try and get some of that territory back. The insight in this is actually really simple. Like, Bankwest are an anti-bank. You know, you've got your neobanks in the marketplace who are fun and colourful but don't stand for anything. You've got your traditional banks like CommBank, which are like, kind of like about safety and security or hustling for a dream. And this is a really simple insight in saying that most people just kind of want to earn some money so they can live their lives. This is a very American style of advertising. So if you kind of look at TV advertising of Australia versus the UK versus America, there's different scripted ways that we approach humour. And the difference is Americans like to point at someone and laugh, where Australians like to laugh about ourselves and be self-deprecating. And when you watch this, it's like you start off feeling pity for him, and it just keeps getting worse. It's like the origin story of an incel, where by the end, when you see him like making something for Debbie, you know it's going to go bad, and instead of having a redemption moment, you just kind of feel like the next day he's going to like poison everyone in the coffee machine. So it just feels a bit mean-spirited, and Australians like to see themselves in ads and relate to it, but no one wants to relate to this guy. It's kind of nerd bashing.
I actually like it. So I think just to like it, I have to put aside that it is somewhat of a smokescreen. So they ran this campaign when they closed all their branches in Australia. And so this is sort of covering over that. I mean, they're really taking less bank is a better bank, literally. Possibly the worst campaign I ever made was for Westpac, was for a bank. And it was similar to this. The line we used was, "We're with you." And every time we ran that ad, it just generated such hate, that sort of gene that we all have, that bank bashing gene. And this is a similar strategy with a smarter execution. So they're using kind of quirkiness and weirdness as the sugar in the medicine. And they're not saying, like us, they're not saying we're your best friend or we're mates. They're saying, look, we get it. Yeah, you would rather do anything, including getting licked to death by your dog, than banking, and we'll help you with that. Yeah.
I love the fact that they've leaned into the insight, that it's like, we actually don't care about our banks. We give less than 10% of our headspace to them. So let's just embrace that truth fully and then kind of go all in on that kind of creepy execution. And I read something when it launched, because, you know, they're sort of industry press, so the VO, final voice, was actually an AI guide voice that they used just for rough, as in just to do the draft. So it wasn't actually meant to stay. And they kept it because they actually thought it added the right amount of creepy.
But here's the thing, when you look at that advertising, what are you going to keep? Because when you make advertising, you've got to be thinking, what am I going to keep out of this ad that I'm making? So the next storyline, the next chapter. So maybe, I mean, I really liked I'm a Creep. I thought that was really funny. But the best part...
Thanks. But when we made that joke, it was before I found out that this was a cover story for them shutting down banks and, people losing their jobs. And then I've just heard a story about the AI voiceover person losing their job. And this is I think we played Creep too early. There was one ad that brought out the Bankworst in you, the creeps in our audience.
How is it Australians are so laid back? It's simple. They're all wearing comfy undies.
Crikey. That looks less like a Bonds ad and more like Australia Zoo Weekly. That ad is filled with details that you might have missed for some reason, like this spider or Robert Irwin's other snake. And I bet you didn't notice the cockatoo on the clothesline because there isn't one. Tricked you. Tricked you, you perv. A behind-the-scenes TikTok has been viewed by 24 million people who want to see Robert's behind a cam. Why make the squeaky clean kid whip his snake out?
Sometimes you just have to give the people what they want.
Yeah.
And they want to see Robert Irwin in his tidy-whities. And it's actually a really beautiful fit both for the brand but also for Robert Irwin as a personality.
They did fit beautifully.
I think it's a fit for Bonds because even this is a global campaign, so they're actually running it, but it works locally as well because he's sort of the 2025 version of Pat Rafter, you know, like kind of sexy guy next door. But given that they're going global, the fact that it's kind of Chris Hemsworth meets Crocodile Dundee, like that's peak Aussie and it's instant get, yeah? So it does really well for Bonds to launch globally and instantly build that Australia association. But actually for Robert as well, this is a really nice move on because it allows him to flex different muscles, but actually show that he has actually kind of grown up and he's come out from under. He's not a mini-me anymore. He's not sort of Steve Irwin's son. He's a hunk in his own right, and he can show his skills beautifully in this spot, which I actually think he has done. Like that's, I mean, it is a magnificent spot overall. Like not beyond Robert. I think it is just, you know, it's. When I say it's beautiful to watch, I mean the entire spot. You know, it's just all the tiny details, the way that they have just completely lent into...
Oh, the details were not tiny.
This very Aussie larrikin spirit. But for me, it's like, it's all the tiny, tiny details. You know, it's the brief was almost like, keep it simple, but go big, like, you know, extra. And they... Oh my God.
It's OK, I'm stopping now.
OK, can I talk about the execution?
Yes.
This spot, you know, there's been attention to detail on every element, but it's actually the sound effects, for me, that are almost like the soundtrack to your Aussie childhood. You know, it's like the tick-tick-tick of the sprinkler, the sort of the crickets, that sort of, or cicadas in the background, the bird song. Like, it's just this amazing symphony of Aussie sounds that is actually incredibly subtle. And what I love, it's like, if this is to a global audience, no one would even pick that up, but the care and attention that's been given is, you know, it's that level of attention to detail that makes this a truly magnificent spot.
There's nothing more exciting in the advertising world than actually finding a way to present the obvious. So the end line, made for Down Under, clearly it's really simple, clearly it's absolutely obvious, and as a result of being so simple and so obvious, it's going to absolutely work its arse off. So when you have that end line, you have Robert Irwin in there, you have a product which comes from Down Under, just that very simple Venn diagram means they are going to sell container loads of jocks.
The Irwins are like a multi-generational, meticulously curated, money-making brand. Up until he got his kid off, I would have said comparing him to the Kardashians is a bit unfair, but it's a free-for-all now. And it's run by his mum, Terry. And I'm not comparing her to Kris Jenner. She's probably sharper than Kris Jenner. But we know that she approves everything. So she's the brand manager, she's the executive producer, she's on set with him when he films, and you can see how well it's all stage managed. So he launched Bonds globally at the same time as he launched that he's going on the dancing show in America, and in Australia, he's on I'm a Celebrity. He appeals to two generations. So he appeals to the older generation because of Steve Irwin. So he represents legacy and trust and warmth and a kind of a fabric of Australia. And he appeals to the younger generation because he's that sort of hot-looking, somewhat geeky environmentalist on TikTok.
If you want to go viral, putting up a thirst trap of someone that people didn't realise was hot always breaks the internet. And it's not just about sex appeal, like it's a very, you know, traditional PR technique. It's also about what are the things that can make sure it goes viral. And it really is about the right talent, but it's also about like their power of influence, so how much people follow them, recognise them, how likeable they are. No one hates Robert Irwin, so you're not going to get a backlash. Are they oversaturated? He, up until this point, has done very daggy brand partnerships like HelloFresh, Tourism Queensland. In 20 years' time, when they're doing a biopic about him, they're going to show this picture and he's got the Bonds logo on his waist. Like they're always going to be synonymous with the brand. And the value of that is so huge for them ongoing. In terms of the aspiration of it, it's really gritty. And I think that's the thing is like, the youth aspire to be gritty and to be street. It's why there's so many eshés that come from the North Shore. Like, they just want to be cool. And so they look at that and they're like, oh, like, Americans don't know what a fibro house is. There's a muscle car in the background. Like, everything in there is new and exciting for them.
I think there's a dual appeal, because I was thinking, yeah, that looks like the backyard of a Northcote share house, right? There is that kind of, that which is sort of
The only unbelievable bit of the ad is that Bob Irwin is anywhere near that house.
Yeah.
Literally, there would be people going, Bob Irwin's nude in our backyard, love. I reckon the Irwin kid's drunk. He's nude in the backyard with a crocodile and a snake over him. We've got to get him back to the zoo. And I repeat, crikey. Married at First Sight is one of Australia's most popular, slowly unfolding disasters. If you haven't seen the show, it's a reality program that documents the downfall of Australian society. A slew of brands are in committed long-term relationships with the MAFS, but there is one that just doesn't click.
Why do you like that Big 4 Colours pen? I use it to keep up with reality show drama. I use red when true love conquers all, black when things get intense, and green when crazy jealousy strikes. So I guess blue is for when they're blue. The Big 4 Colours pen, for every bride, groom, every side of you.
Oh, come off it. Everyone knows the MAFS fans can't spell. Online, BIC has MAFS tie-in content like this.
I want a husband that I'm just as happy to see him as I would like coconut water. Like, I love coconut water.
Shakespeare, drink your heart out. Russell, why does a pen need a primetime ad?
Man, oh man. I mean, it is a terrible ad, but it's really good advertising.
What do you mean?
Well, the content's no good. However, actually being in MAFS and advertising what people would call a low-interest product, right? So marketing jargon, low interest. So, we shouldn't be advertising low-interest products because there isn't enough people out there that care enough. But if you actually do mass marketing of low-interest products, you then actually can improve the interest. And you can, and this is what would be happening with this, is you can get a lot of lapsed users repurchasing this product. So in a way, what I think would be happening, I've got no evidence that this is what's happening. What I would think would be happening is that the ad during MAFS is in effect the shop window. I'm looking in the shop window and I see the Big 4 colour pen, and then my mobile phone is the cash register. I am immediately getting on to, let's say, Amazon or Officeworks or
While
whatever.
you're making things up, you might as well.
I know. And I would be amazed if this advertising isn't working incredibly well. And it's quite fun to do the numbers. Do you want to try and do the numbers, Will?
Imagine them?
Yeah, let's imagine
We're just going to imagine the numbers.
We're going to imagine the numbers.
Okay,
so there's probably, let's say, 3 million people watching MAFS any given moment.
Any given moment?
Any given moment. So a reach of 3 million. There's a reach of 3 million. So if I said to you 1% of people would be maybe interested or keen to get their hands on a BIC that they haven't had since they were in primary school. That's 1%. So what's that? 30,000? Right, so 30,000 people.
Not here to do maths, mate.
Yeah, they click through.
I could barely say maths. I can't do maths.
They click through. It's a $4 purchase. There we go. There's $120,000 just made just off that one ad that you've shown. And the ad's going to cost you less than $120,000 to be in MAFS. So it's probably costing you at most $60,000 to be there. You got $120,000 off the back of running that one particular commercial, and bang, you're making money.
I mean, imagine if that was true. Isn't it wonderful if you don't have to have responsibility for any of the figures?
And what I'm hoping is all these traditional household brands see the case study, see this BIC case study.
A case study now, is it?
It's a case study. And they go, oh, hang on, that's how you do it. I've forgotten.
Wow, I've never watched someone go down a rabbit hole in real time.
The fact that MAFS is the master of integration. So when they refer to integration, they refer to the ability to sort of work the products into the set in some way where it feels somewhat natural. And you can't, it's highly competitive. Lots of people are trying to get in because it's one of the highest rated shows. And there's competition, so you can't have 2 cars. You can't have 2 beauty products. And when you think about a pen, there's not that much competition to the pen. And it's no small business. BIC sells over 5 billion pens a year. So if you're talking about something that costs a couple of dollars, that's a lot of money that they make. And I think that they know that MAFS, a big chunk of the MAFS audience are the gatekeepers, mums, 25 to 54. And they're actually marketing directly to them. I think it's a clever move. I mean, if you want eyeballs, unfortunately, it's an indictment on all of us. You go to MAFS.
It's a terrible ad, but it's great advertising, right? Genuinely.
So
that feels like the miss for me, that it is a terrible ad. It's clearly a global ad that's been repurposed and wedged into the maths.
Maths, oh my God. No,
yeah, I know, it's hard, isn't it?
Maths.
Married at first sight.
Yeah, Married at First Sight rates really highly across a lot of demographics, including students in high school and university. Found some research about pens and biro sales, and it's really, I thought no one writes anymore, but apparently it's going up, particularly with students, particularly in the Asia Pacific. What the problem is that people are moving to new pen technologies, so like gel inks, erasable pens, and when you look at the four-click pen, that's like daggy and old, and I think this is an example of a brand that often when a category or a product is dying, they will spend a heap of money right before the end to try and get attention again, boost sales, but also to get extra shelf space, you need to show the retailers that you're advertising on mainstream TV. So I think we're actually seeing a brand that's struggling against competitors, trying to grow back some of their audience, and they're just trying to be part of culture by integrating it really quite clumsily into the adult.
If Married at First Sight can enjoy a BIC tie-in, we thought, why not pen one of our own?
Why do you like that big 4-colour pen?
I use it to keep up with the latest episodes of Gruen. I use red when I hate an ad, and green when I love every ad.
So I guess black is for the feeling of despair when you realise that a pen can't just be a pen anymore. It needs to be an ad, a social media campaign, and a reality show tie-in.
The big 4 colours pen. We live in hell.
We kicked off this year with our own unsellable pitch. Turn the segment over to you. This season, all the pitches you see were pitched to us by the Gruen audience, so if you don't like it, it's your fault. This week you asked our agencies to convince us that Australia should introduce betting at kids' sports. Here's the first pitch.
Now, we all know kids' sports can get incredibly intense, so we thought, why not take it even one step further? Now, bragging rights are great, but cashing in is even better. Enjoy.
$10, my kid gets the next kick.
You're on, but I'm putting 20 on number 9. Kid's got skills. Go Blondie!
Why should the pros have all the fun? With a little better, you can bet on the moments that really matter.
Yes, I had money on her missing.
From the first goal to the first tears, make every game a little better.
He's not even doing anything. I have $20 on him.
Please gamble irresponsibly. Kids' feelings are not guaranteed. Side effects may include questionable parenting, tense car rides home, and a complete loss of perspective.
Well, you've convinced me. Here's our next pitch.
More and more people and politicians are growing concerned around the ethics of horse and greyhound racing.
So we thought, let's not bet on animals and instead provide a guilt-free alternative.
Betting on horses making you feel queasy. Now greyhound racing's in trouble. There's even talk of a ban. It's time we found a new creature that we can bet on cruelty-free. Introducing Kids. Ethical. Free range. Actually knows why it's there. And if little Tess breaks her leg, she won't get shot in the face. Introducing gambling at kids' sporting events. It's a little better. Hold your horses, ditch the dogs, back the tarts.
Wow, you've convinced me, but what will our panel think? Todd, which one did you prefer?
Wow, they were both horribly good, but if I had to choose, I would definitely choose the second one.
Cam, what about you?
Yeah, it's number 2 for me.
Karen, what do you think?
Yeah, it was a tough decision, but I think I like the executional nuance in number 2, so it's number 2 for me.
Number one had some great B-grade acting, but definitely number 2.
OK, all right, that's a comprehensive first episode victory for Paper Moose. But remember, you win some, you lose more. We began the previous season of Gruen by being introduced to Kia's new ute. Well, exciting news, that ute still hasn't arrived, but the advertising is just revving up.
All right, Buck's on the loose again. Who can give a hand?
Don't worry. I got this. Oi! What do you know about horses? Leave it to me.
Keep an eye on them for me, will you?
No worries. Did you leave the gate open again? I can see the headline tomorrow. Dylan, Safe to go. Mate, leave this to me. This butt is out of luck. Nah. You blokes need a hand? Hold this. Reckon he carries that everywhere?
If I wanted to catch a runaway horse, I'd have asked the two captains of the Broncos. And I know what this woman was really looking at. Not a Bronco, just the stallion. Kia said the Tasman was landing in mid-2025, and then in April, another big ad dropped where the Tasman tows a boat gently down the stream and asks you to reserve yours now. I already have a lot of reservations. The truck is still not here, and Kia is rapidly running out of Australian sporting legends. Karen, why keep advertising when you don't have an able Tasman?
So during the pandemic, one of the things was that people had to wait 12 months to get a new car. And that's really reframed the behaviour of car ordering for us. So now we just kind of treat it as the new normal. So most people take now about 5 months to make a decision of what car they want, and they wait for 2 months. So the lead time on the Tasman actually isn't that unexpected. I think they went a little bit further ahead because they're trying to sniper the competitive market of anyone who's buying a car in that meantime to be like, pick a Tasman over that. And I think these are great brand ads. Like, they're just so funny, and there's something so good about an advertising serial. Like, people love the comfort of a sequel. It's like you look at Amy's Rhonda and Katut, or even the iSelect ads to a point. People like watching them because you get all that nasty product information stuff out of the way in the first ad. And after that, you can just tell stories and have fun. And the first ad is a Broncos sponsorship ad, which is like, sponsorship ads are the worst ones to write. They're so dull, so boring. But also, like, I've done work with the Broncos before, and there's not much assets apart from the horse, and they've integrated the horse in the story in a very seamless, natural way, which sounds insane. But it's just, they're a delight to watch, and I think they'll do so much good work for the brand.
I would be absolutely frothing to get a brief like this where they've said, just tell tales about Tasman Town, say that 10 times quickly, and actually start to build love for this brand that is going into a super competitive market. So in terms of to try and knock off Ford Ranger and Toyota Hilux requires serious money and effort. And so that's what they're doing. They recognise it's not an easy feat, and I just really celebrate the way that they're actually approaching it.
And can Dylan Alcott act? Yeah. Oh, he can seriously act, Will.
He's a great actor. I read a case study that said he's Australia's greatest actor. That's what I read. Imagine. If you're watching the ABC, you're part of Australia's ageing population. The largest residential aged care provider looks after 138 aged care homes and 12,000, wait, I'm getting a message, 11,999 residents, 98 residents. Here's their ad.
There it goes. Oh, where? Did you catch it? No. Oh, I've seen something. Oh, here's a bit of a hug.
But a laugh with friends? That exercises the mind. Find your community with Opal Healthcare. Because loving life never gets old.
Oh, I bet I know what they'd rather be looking at.
Oh, my God. Oh, I've seen something.
You thought it was going to be Bob. We tricked you. Cam, is this better than playing Shy and retiring?
I mean, bless. That is literally like the ad that your nan wrote the script for. And I am here for it. Yeah. So not everyone would, but I really like this ad. I find it clumsily charming. And I think that works for the category. I sort of, as I watched this ad, it almost felt like it was a retirement project, you know, that they'd actually given the old folks the brief and told them to have a crack. And this is where we landed, and it's not bad, yeah, for the category. So...
for the category of giving old people a crack at making an ad.
What I would say, you know, I think there is an amateur quality to the spot. You know, the idea that it is quite formulaic in that sort of problem solution, you know, that loneliness accelerates cognitive decline. That's the problem. And then you have the solution. It's like live with others, live longer, you know, be happy. And so I think there's that kind of very neat approach to the ad. But at times that might not work. For me, in this instance, it does. It is actually part of the charm. I sort of like the fact that it's amateur, charmingly amateur is what I'm going to say. And for an aged care brand, I actually think it lands because I want to know that they're actually spending money on the facilities
and
not. The care.
No, I don't know. No, I mean in general in the industry. Like, this company's probably great.
Yeah. Well, we know they're not spending it on slick advertising. Is my point. So yeah.
This ad appeals to me enormously. You know, the notion of laughing with friends and exercise your mind, they're two good lines. Yeah. Laugh with friends, exercise your mind. And it also reminds me of a thought that I've had for a very long time. I think that aged care should be done by industry. So all the clowns, all the people that spent their entire life being as clowns, they should just go into the clown building, right? Because then they... and then all the architects...
They just need one car, too.
Yes, and all the architects, they can just go into the one, you know, the surgeons, that's where the surgeons are, because they're like-minded and they'd be laughing with friends. And I literally do fantasise that there's a business opportunity there. I'd like to be in an old people's home full of advertising people.
Oh, that is...
Oh, my God.
And I would like to burn that home down. Oh, my God. You're a monster.
This is a good example of a good strategy and a not so good execution. Like it's targeting cleverly two generations. So it's targeting adults, adult children that feel guilty putting their parents in homes, and it's targeting older people that fear a loss of identity. And what I do like about it is that they're not going down the traditional tropes of we're going to care for you and showing people within the facility doing X, Y, and Z. They're sort of not saying that. They're not saying we're going to care for you. They're saying that when your parents come in here, they're still going to be somebody. And I think that has appeal for an older generation. So I think good strategy, somewhat dodgy execution.
So retirement, community living, aged care, that is all going to get really, really huge in the next 20 years because of the size of the baby boomer population that are aging up. They call it the silver tsunami. And it just means there needs to be so much disruption across the industry, obviously in the care facilities, but especially in the communication that's being made. Because aged care facilities, you can be 50 to 60 years old to enter one, but people that age...
How old? So I could get in now.
Yeah.
On the ground floor. I don't know. I've heard the women are really horny. They might call me the silver tsunami.
But, the reason why most people don't want to go in them because they're like, it's going to be a hellhole, I won't know anyone, and they treat you like you're these kind of lifeless robots. And so that's why most baby boomers, I think it's like 40-something%, do not want to go into an aged care facility. I'm not sure about the stat, it might be 30-something. It's a third.
That's fine. Russell set the precedent. You can just make stuff up. Say whatever numbers you want. I heard it was 1 billion %.
So what's nice about this ad, it's disrupting that way that people are treated, and it just shows most people in aged care now were like young in the 50s. They were having unprotected sex and they were riding motorbikes and they were smoking and going to parties. It's like these are the people that are in there now, and they are still those people. They're just have older bodies, and so it's really nice to see an ad that recognises who their residents are instead of just being like, we take care of you as you die.
That is actually the new slogan of the ABC. With the arrival of the Kia Tasman already bogged down, we thought we'd give them a more honest ad.
You need a ute that works as hard as you do. You need a ute that conquers any terrain. You need a ute that can go anywhere. You need a ute that can do anything. You need a ute. We don't have a ute. We don't know where our utes are. No utes here, no utes there. We'd love to get our ute out here, but we can't. At Kia, the only limit is your imagination, because you'll have to imagine your own ute. Kia, where the bloody hell are you?
Please thank our panel, Russel, Karen, Camey and Todd. Stay tuned for the weekly with Charlie Pickering, and we'll leave you with a sneak peek at a new ABC British crime series.
Coming up next, the ABC's latest cosy crime drama. They spend only 0.02% of their time doing bank things, so they can spend 10% of their time plotting revenge, 15% finding a place to hide the body, 7% thinking about that thing you said to the homicide detective, and the rest of their time doing whatever this is. The only thing you can count on is that everyone's a person of high interest, especially Brenda. 100% murder, someone will die, you can bank on it.